Hi, in this video I am going to show you how to use n8n integrated with ComfyUI in order for you to generate short videos and upload them to social media platforms. 100% on Autopilot. This will run locally on your computer. It is completely for free, and there is no limit to the number of generated videos. Now, let me show you an example of what this system can do. This short video was generated using the WAN 2.1 motion model inside. ComfyUI triggered and orchestrated entirely by an automated n8n workflow. From generating the visual theme in motion to adding background music and uploading to YouTube, everything is handled automatically. This is just a glimpse of the creative power you can unlock. Now, let's move on to the installation process. To make things easier for you, I have prepared a detailed step-by-step installation guide in a Word document. It includes all the links and instructions you will need. I have added a download link in the description below. Feel free to open it now and follow along as we go through each part together. Alright, let's get started with the prerequisites. Step 1. Install Git. Git is needed to download some of the project files. Go to the official site and download Git for Windows. Run the installer, and during setup, just keep the default options. Once it's done, you are ready to move on. Step 2. Install Node.js. Next, we need Node.js, which lets us run n8n on your machine. Head over to the official site and download the LTS version. You can use Docker for running n8n, but in this tutorial, I highly recommend using Node.js. It's faster to set up and much simpler for beginners. Finally, Step 3, start n8n once Node.js is installed. Open your terminal or command prompt and type this command. This will launch n8n without needing to install it globally. After a few seconds, your browser will open with the n8n editor. Now register by inserting the required fields, and that's it. You are ready to start building workflows. In order to use the workflow I have prepared, you will first need to install 2 community nodes in your local n8n setup. To do this, open your n8n editor and go to Settings, Community Nodes. Install a community node and enter the following 2 package names: n8n-nodes-ComfyUI and n8n-nodes-ComfyUI-image-2-video. These nodes are required to connect n8n with ComfyUI and to handle image-to-video generation. Once you have installed both, go ahead and import my workflow into your editor. Click on the menu icon in the top right corner, then select Import Workflow. Choose the .json file I have provided. You will find the download link in the description below. Once it loads, the entire workflow will appear on your canvas, ready to be customized and connected. But before we can actually run it, we will need to complete a few more setup steps. Let's walk through those next. Now let's get ComfyUI installed. This is the tool responsible for generating the AI visuals and motion in your videos. First, download the latest .7-zip release file of ComfyUI from its official GitHub page. Next, install 7-zip if you don't already have it. Then right-click the .7-zip file and extract it to any folder you prefer using ComfyUI. Finally, open ComfyUI by running the file named run_nvidia_gpu.bat, located in the root folder you just extracted. Important note, if you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, you will need to follow a slightly different installation method. You can find alternative instructions on the official GitHub page or at comfy.org. If you have followed all the steps correctly, ComfyUI should now open in your browser, and it should look something like this. Now that ComfyUI is installed, the next step is to set up the ComfyUI Manager, which will make it much easier to manage your nodes and dependencies. Start by visiting the official GitHub repository for ComfyUI Manager and scroll down to the installation section. There you'll see 3 simple steps. The first step would be to navigate to your ComfyUI Custom Nodes folder. In the folder path bar at the top, type CMD and press Enter. This will open a command prompt in the correct directory. Now copy and paste the installation command provided in the GitHub instructions and press Enter to run it. Once the installation is complete, restart ComfyUI by closing the window where it is currently running and then launching it again using the run NVIDIA GPU.bat file. When ComfyUI opens again, you should now see a ComfyUI Manager button at the top of the interface. This means ComfyUI Manager was installed successfully. Now import the HiDream.json file, which I have provided in the description below. You will see an error pop-up. Close it and navigate to the ComfyUI Manager. Select Install Missing Nodes and go ahead and install everything that is listed. Then click the Restart button to finish the process. Now let's go back to the installation guide document because we will need to install the required model files for image generation using the HiDream workflow. You can follow the tutorial video included in the guide for a more visual explanation. But don't worry, I will walk you through the process step by step right here. First, open the HiDream workflow in ComfyUI and locate the installation instructions window included in it. Follow the steps carefully. Step 1. Install the unit loader. Depending on your GPU VOM, choose the appropriate model version. As a general rule, pick a model that is slightly smaller than your total GPU memory to avoid running out of resources. Once downloaded, place the unit file into the following directory: ComfyUI Models, Diffusion Models. Step 2. Install the 4 quadruple clip loaders. Download all 4 required clip encoder files and move them to ComfyUI Models text encoders. Step 3. Install the V. Finally, download the VAE file and place it in this folder, ComfyUI Models V. Once all the files are in place, your HiDream workflow should be ready to generate images. Go ahead and run a quick test to make sure everything is working smoothly. Now that we have finished setting up the image generation model in ComfyUI, it's time to move on to video generation. Depending on your needs and your GPU's capabilities, you can choose between 2 available models. 2.1 offers higher quality output, but takes more time to generate each video. LTX Video 0.97, much faster, but with slightly lower visual quality. You can follow the video tutorials I have linked in the document for a more detailed breakdown, or you can continue following along with me here. For this tutorial, we'll be using 2.1. First, open ComfyUI and import the 1.json workflow file. The download link is in the description of this video. After importing, you might see some missing node errors. That's expected. Simply close the error pop-up. Then click the Manager button in the top right corner of ComfyUI, select Install Missing Nodes, and allow ComfyUI to install all required components. Once installation is complete, restart ComfyUI and verify that the workflow loads without any errors. Now it is time to download the model files needed for video generation and place them in the correct folders. Just like we did earlier for image generation, first, download a UNet loader that fits your GPU's VRM. Once downloaded, move it to Diffusion Models folder. Next, download the required text encoder and clip vision model and place them in their respective folders. Finally, download the VAE model and place it in the VAE folder. Once all models are in place, you will be able to use the workflow to generate videos, starting from a single input image. The next step is to install FFmpeg, which we will use to merge audio, video, and apply effects automatically. In the Word document 1 provided, you will find both the download link for the executables and a step-by-step installation guide. The process is very straightforward, but if you run into any issues, feel free to leave a comment. I will do my best to help you out. Now that we have completed the setup for ComfyUI, let's head back to n8n to configure the remaining parts of the workflow. First, we need to add the audio files used during video generation. In your home directory, create a new folder called n8n. Inside that folder, create another one named Assets. Inside the Assets folder, add 2 audio files. First, a background music track. Make sure it is copyright-free. Name the file exactly as background_music.mp. 3 inches second, a sound effect file. This can be anything you'd like to layer over your videos. Name it sound_effect.mp3. Once both files are in place, your workflow will be able to automatically combine visuals and audio for the final video output. Of course, you can take this a step further by making the workflow even more dynamic. For example, by using API calls to automatically download background music and sound effects that match the video's theme. That's an advanced enhancement I will leave to you as a future upgrade, but the possibilities are there if you want to explore them. Before running the workflow, there is one last important step to ensure everything works smoothly, especially the YouTube upload node. We need to create an environment variable called n8n_default_binary_data_mode. This allows n8n to handle file uploads properly when running locally. On Windows, do the following. Open the Start menu and search for Edit the System Environment Variables. Click on Environment Variables. Under User Variables, click New. Set the variable name to n8n_default_binary_data_mode. Set the value to File System, click OK to save everything, and then restart n8n. Once that's done, and after you have added the required API keys to the appropriate nodes, your workflow is fully ready to run. Now let's move on to the final and easiest step, configuring the required credentials for the workflow to function properly. If you haven't already, start by importing the motorcycle.json workflow into n8n. Next, scroll to the Generate Script section and open the OpenRouter Chat Model node. Click on Create Credentials, open your browser, and go to OpenRouter AI. Create an account or log in. Navigate to the API Keys section. Click Create API Key, give it a name, and hit Create Copy the generated key, and go back to n8n, paste the key into the API key field, and click Save once done. Repeat this process for any other OpenRouter nodes in the workflow to ensure they're all properly configured. Next, navigate to the Video Generation section of the workflow. Make sure ComfyUI is running in the background, then test the connection by executing the related node. If everything is configured correctly, the node should respond successfully. Confirming that your local setup is working, setting up the YouTube upload node can be a bit tricky, but Dan, not worry. I will guide you through it step by step. Head over to the Google Cloud Console and create a new project. In the top navigation bar, click on Enable APIs and Services. Then, go to the Oath Consent Screen section, click Get Started, and fill in the required information. Click Create when you're done. Next, in the top search bar, search for YouTube Data API v3. Select it and click Enable. Go back to the Oath Consent screen, scroll down, and create a new Oath client. Enter a name and paste the auth redirect URL that n8n provides during credential setup. Then click Create. Copy the client ID and paste it into n8n. Then click into the client to find and copy the client secret and paste that into n8n as well. Finally, go to the Publishing Status section in the Auth Consent screen and click Publish App. Once all of that is set up, you will be able to connect your Google account in n8n without any issues. Once you have tested the workflow and confirmed everything is working properly, you can replace the manual trigger node with a scheduler node. This will allow your workflow to generate and upload videos automatically at regular intervals. Just don't forget to activate the workflow, otherwise it will not run in the background as expected. And that's it. You now have a fully automated local-first AI video generation system powered by n8n, ComfyUI, and your imagination. But don't stop here. This is just the beginning. You can upgrade this system even further, like using APIs to dynamically fetch background, music or sound effects that match your video's theme. And let's not forget, the world of image and video generation is evolving incredibly fast. New open-source models are dropping almost every month. Faster, better, more creative. As they do, this workflow will become even more powerful. So take this project, make it your own, and push the limits. Whether you are creating content, automating your brand, or just experimenting, you now have the tools to do it. Locally, privately, freely. If you found this useful, give it a like, drop a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful automation and AI tutorials. Thanks for watching. Now go create something awesome.